Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hi
Hey,
guys.
hey. Right. So,
Hello. Hi everyone.
hi. Hey, everyone. What's up? Welcome to Podcast for School Kids. Thank you so much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure and delight to, be able to talk to three amazing women here. Now, before we begin, just the reasons as to why I'm doing this particular episode. Throughout 12th and now even after that, the word that I've heard probably the most number of times is college, and specifically DU. That's the reason why I studied. No, not entirely, but that's the reason why I and most of my peers have studied through 12th, and that's the reason why we're so we're full of like having anxiety, right? So that's the reason why I'm doing this podcast and this particular episode on Delhi University, because I genuinely think that going into college, especially after school for undergrad, is like a huge step in anyone's life. And I know that sounds largely privileged, but again, it's all right. So, this conversation will serve as an early stage insight into anyone who's going into Delhi University College after grade 12. And I thought, why not to talk to people who've actually perceived DU hands on, which is why you three are here. That is Ishika, Manya, and Urvashidi. So once again, thanks for joining me, and let's do this. Let's make this, a very fun, freewheeling conversation for anyone who's listening. But before that, I wanted to maybe go in a round. We'll start with Ishika, then Manya, and then Urvashidi, because that's how the alphabets were created. And why not? And why not?
I've always had the privilege of coming the last even in class. So I was the last one to perform everything. So I was like, yeah, I have time.
Likewise, I was also always last on the list, so that's a great thing. So go on, introduce yourself, two or three sentences about the kind of person you are, then your college and your course, and so on and so forth. You know the drill. I'm not going to be so formal here. Go on, Ishika.
Yeah, okay. Hi everyone. First of all, really excited to be talking to all of you after so long, especially except Manya. I talk to Manya daily. Yeah, no, I'm glad to meet you. Manya also. Yeah. So I'm Ishika. I'm pursuing economics honors from Miranda House. I'm a third year student. Before that, because this is for school students, so they'll understand the context better. I was basically a commerce student, commerce finance, and yeah, what else? Recently, I've gotten into the entire I want to be healthy and I will drink smoothies and wake up at 5 o'clock thing. So I tell Manya to give me a call at 5 every morning. She doesn't, but she promises to, and and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Lovely, Manya.
I am Manya Chauhan. We all belong to the same school, but like the other people are academic brilliant students, but I have always been the almost there kind of person academically, but I have a lot of other things going on in life. Like I'll be into a lot of theater activities, and I also have my own startup that works towards encouraging students of Delhi University to do something that do not belong to SRCC or Hindu, so that the people in other colleges also have a life, and the opportunities are just not restricted to one particular niche.
Right, and your college and course.
I am doing BCom honors from Shyama Prasad Mukherjee College for Women.
Lovely, Urvashidi.
Hi, everybody. First of all, it's so amazing to connect back to all of you, to Ishika, Manya, and Shrishti. I know all three of you. Ishika, in fact, had been meeting me in metro when we were actually going to college. So yeah, it's great. Thank you, Shrishti, for inviting me here, especially with these two amazing people. And I am Urvashi. I am Urvashi Sharma. I did political science honors from Hindu College, University of Delhi. I graduated this year. My result came this year, so I'm a batch of 2020 student, the luckiest batch of all. So yeah, and yeah, as far as my school is concerned, I was from the same school, Ryan, and in my school, I had humanities as my stream. So that is my educational qualification. As a person, Shrishti has asked us to tell us what we are as a person. I think it's the most difficult question, but I am one person who likes balance. So I try to always balance my academics with my extracurricular activities, and I think that is the most that is the toughest and the most exciting thing for me to do. So yeah.
Great, great. So, just for context, I think Ishika and Manya are in third year as of now. And Urushidi, she's already
I
like passed out
graduated.
of college. She's graduated. Chalo. So moving on, I think one question that I have for all of you is that so some people when they're in grade 12 or in grade 11, they have an idea of a dream college, right? That this is the college that I want to get in too. And then all the tuition teachers, especially around us, they kind of put you in this race of like chase your dream college, whereas some people don't have that. So how has it been with you guys? Did you have a dream college in mind, or did you not, or did you have an idea of this is where you'd like to see yourself probably 3 years down the line? And does that idea still hold? Does the idea of a dream college or a top order college or a lower order college, how does that pan out? Does it hold? What was your personal experience with respect to this particular ideology of having a dream college?
Should I go first? Are we
Anyone
following
can
it?
go first.
I'll
Anyone
go
can go
first.
first. No, no, no. Anyone can go first.
No, Ishika, we are strictly following the alphabet.
Cool, then I'll go first. So actually, I'll start by addressing what you just said, that we have a lot of coachings around us, especially I think if you're in Delhi, there's there's a very significant coaching industry which is developed. And I think that puts a lot of, that industry has done a lot to put a lot of pressure on students. And I see this contrast because I have friends from outside. My college has people from all over the country. And I see that they didn't take half as many tuitions that I did. And I did take those tuitions just because I felt the pressure too. I didn't take tuitions before like 12th standard. In 12th standard, I took them for all subjects suddenly. So I'm just addressing that for, especially for students who live in areas which have a very significant coaching industry, try to recognize where that pressure is coming from. That industry profits off of you feeling that pressure. And yeah, so I had a dream college. I wanted to get into St. Stephen's, and I didn't. In fact, there's a funny story. I had a checklist of certain colleges that, yeah, if I didn't get into St. Stephen's, these are the colleges that I want to get into. Miranda was actually one of them. So during the fourth list, I hadn't gotten into any of them, and I went around and submitted letters in all of those colleges that I'm a good student. I'm good. Please take me. It wasn't like a normal life. It was just like, please take me, please take me. So, and when I was in North Campus, and the friend that I had gone with, he slowed down the car in front of St. Stephen's, and he was like, "How do you feel?" So, but yeah, I'm really happy right now. I think that I
This is right across my college, and it's sometimes like I feel like I don't see humans there. Somehow we have, I don't see humans there. There's nobody to view there.
but yeah, I don't have that idea of a dream college anymore. I think that's also because my experience with my college turned out to be great. So I don't know for someone who doesn't have the same experience as me, if they still hold that idea, because I do think that certain colleges provide you with a lot of opportunities. The people around you are great, and they do help in shaping you. So for me, that has been great, which is why I don't hold that idea anymore. I still want to go to a place wherein I'm sure that I'll grow. But yeah, I like to just say that, don't feel that pressure and try to acknowledge where that pressure comes from.
Right. Manya. You're on mute.
I am not on mute.
Yeah, now you're.
Am I audible
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dream college was Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies because I wanted to be a corporate baby and work at a big four or own a startup, and it was a whole scene. But I think my insecurity with academics comes that I equate a lot of my self-worth to the marks that I get. And in my 12 years of schooling, I scored the lowest marks ever that I ever did in my class 12th boards. So that added up and I burned myself out over it. And then even when I went, like even after I got into my college, Shami Prasad Mukherjee College, and that was not on my list, Rishika. After the lists were coming, so I stopped looking at the names section of the colleges, and I focused my attention on the percentage thingy that is there in the registration, and just seeing that, okay, so I can get into this course in this college and this course in this college. So it was a thing. But even after I came into the college, throughout my first year, I think that this idea continued. And whenever I saw somebody from North Campus colleges or South Campus college, I automatically felt a lot very intimidated that, oh my god, these people are smarter than I am, or these people have achieved something more than I have. So that insecurity continued. So I think that it is very important for you to remember that the marks that you scored in one academic session cannot define your self-worth. This is something that I have learned in third year, and it is something that I have learned because of the people I met in my college. And when we are doing that, we also are, somewhat demeaning the people who are studying in your particular college. Like for the first year of my life, I treated the people in my class a lot inferior, and I thought that, oh my god, you people do not know anything. And in the second year, I was scolded by my best friend that, what are you doing, get your life together. That is when I realized that, okay, these people also have a lot of potential. It is just that you need to divert your energy in a direction and your effort in a direction. And maybe, yes, it is true that you need to work extra hard to get to a place, but then because the work in these established colleges was done before you, and hence now you are at a place where you can just go and get the opportunity. That is not true with a lot of colleges, I acknowledge that, but it is very much possible to get into a college that is not your dream college and create opportunities in that space. So yeah, it is fine. Do not run behind a dream college. Just trust yourself, and wherever it is good that if you get into your dream college, you will be able to achieve a lot. Things will be a lot smooth, a lot easier. But if you don't, wherever you go, I'm sure that you will create a nice learning, enriching environment.
Nice, absolutely. Shidi.
So for me, to be very honest, I had no expectation because I didn't know about DU that much, to be very honest, because when I came into 11th, to take humanities is a hard choice because it's not encouraged. I'm so thankful that my parents supported me in my decision to take humanities, because I met a lot of students who said that we wanted to take humanities, we were interested in humanities and the subjects that lie thereof, but our parents simply said no. So at that point of time, I only had one thing, that academics is the only way I could, get out of that insecurity and that, zone where there is some sort of an uncertainty that comes with choosing humanities as a subject. It's not that uncertain, I would say, but the thing is that, like you say, like Ishika emphasized and you emphasize, that there's some kind of, narrative built around you that affects you, even if you want or if you do not want. That's not the case, but it does affect you. So I had taken humanities, and my only thing was that I want to go into a good college. I want to go into the best possible college, and I had no idea which is that college. I had no idea, completely no idea. I just knew there's something called Delhi University. It was only after I gave my boards and was done with it that I started my research with the cliche best college for political science in DU. So I got the list. So it was LSR, Hindu, and then other Ramjas. Usually this was the list. Some places, one or two odd places, Hindu was before LSR, but usually LSR was at the top. So when my results were declared, I got into both LSR and Hindu. Though today, at today's cutoff level, I would have got into none. But at that time, thankfully, with God's grace, I got into both of them. Now, for me, the biggest decision was LSR or Hindu. Because though every website said that, everywhere I heard, they said, though LSR is good, LSR is good. But somehow, there was something that was pulling me towards Hindu. There was something. I don't know. Even my father was somehow insistent that I should go to Hindu. But I was like, I got into LSR. People are dying there to get into LSR. And I am here choosing Hindu. Why shouldn't? But finally I zeroed down to Hindu. I went there's one tip I would like to give, though it's not possible in today's time, but if people watch this, I hope people watch this even after 2 or 3 years. So if it's possible, if you're confused between any of the college, go to the college, go to the campus. In foreign universities, we have the open days where you can go and meet the faculty and go actually pay a campus visit. In India, somehow this concept is not that popular, but I did that effort. I thought, let's go and see. So somehow I got convinced with Hindu and I came to Hindu. So I didn't have any expectation. I came with a clean slate sort of a thing, because I had no idea. Somehow I am myself shocked that why didn't I have any idea about what college is all about. So yeah, when I talk about expectation, so when I came to college, I would tell you the first semester was depressing one, because first I was somebody who was very rigid with the school thing. I would very rigidly molded into the school format where you wake up in the morning, dress up, and then you go to college in a bus, come back on time, sleep, and then get up. So that was my thing. So when I went to college, and I was like, sometimes I'm going to college, traveling through metro only for 2 classes, that too only for 2 hours. And sometimes one of the classes got cancelled. Sometimes one class is at 8, another is at 1. Like, what the hell will I do in this entire period? I was that person, and I'm not. So I was initial first sem, and there was no if you in your Delhi, when you come to Delhi University, you'll realize in the first semester you don't have much of the extracurricular activities. And back in school days, I was a person, every second day I was on stage. So I was doing something else. So that was like, what am I doing with my life here? What is this happening? I was used to be such a creative person, and here I'm struggling to get up and go to college. So that, and then that thing started to prick me. Was it a wrong decision to come to Hindu? Maybe LSR was better. So that was like murky, and I used to fight with my father. आपके कहने पे मैंने LSR छोड़ दिया, Hindu आ गई, and then you have to find that scapegoat in order to get rid of that guilt. And he said, no, you should wait. Why are you this just 1 month? It's just 2 months. Finally, and first semester is usually all those people who are now into the college, and you must be, and I think it must be more uncertain and more insecure for you, because everything has gone online. You're not on campus. You can't even meet and make friends. So in first semester, although you're searching who is going to be my next best friend, but but that is not the first case. It's a very uncertain thing. Finally, from second semester, things started to fall in place. I started working, so the editorial work of our magazine started, and a lot of things. We had department activities. So yeah, from second year onwards, I was like, oh, I made a good decision. I came to Hindu, because then you start getting in whatever college you are. I know a friend who has a lot of potential, who had always scored 100 on 100 in school, and somehow in 12th she didn't score that good, and finally she didn't go to a college of her choice or potential. So initially she was also very disturbed and perturbed, because obviously we are fed into that narrative that this college is good, this college is not good. So she was a little disturbed, perturbed, and when we go with that, expectation can be both positive or negative. You can have very high expectations, or you can have very low expectations. Like, I'm coming to this college which has a low cutoff, that means it is going to be a bad college, but that's not the case. And now when I meet her, she's a graduate now, she was in my batch, and she's so happy with her college. She's found her own place in her college, and she just can't stop bragging about her college now, which in her first year she didn't want to go to at all. So that is how. So
Absolutely.
it's so expectation is something we build on assumptions from information we got from coaching institutes, or from our friends, or from internet. But experience is something that is your own. So I think at the end of the third year, experience is something you'll be taking back with you, and you will forget what your expectations were. You will have no idea. All you'll have will be experience. So I think, as Mani also said, that how she developed her college years into such a manner that it becomes something fruitful to her, and something that gives her back something. So she directed herself into that thing. So I think that is the most important thing, that experience is the most important thing, and I don't think it is dependent on college. I don't seriously think that it is dependent on college.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Can I add
Yeah.
something? I
Go ahead.
completely to what Urvashidi said and what Manya said, because I being the best friend in question in Manya's whatever Manya was saying, I have seen her build her college life for herself, and I have seen a lot of other people also do that, which people who aren't really very happy with the college that they got into, and I've seen them build their college life, and I've seen people in the top colleges and colleges that they wanted to get into,
And face their life.
yeah,
Yeah.
and be very happy with their college life because they didn't build it into something that they wanted. They never came to college. They never, really
Yeah.
participated. So I think college life, more than like the college that you choose, it's about you. It's about what you build of your college life.
Absolutely, definitely, totally agreed. Now it's great that Urushidi mentioned about this dilemma of choosing like with either LSR or Hindu. Now this is something that a lot of us come across, after 12th, because two things. First of all, I personally feel that the kind of system we're in, we're not given enough opportunities to explore our academic interests per se. There are not enough pursuits to discover what we like to study and what we'd like to study here on, right? So it's difficult to decide what we want to study. And like you said, there's an open day concept in the US. There's also a concept of having your first year. There's 4 years of undergraduate study, and the first year people are just exploring. Like they have shopping weeks. They can sit in any particular class and listen to any particular professor and then decide what they want to do. And they could straight up do economics with astrophysics. I know it sounds like a cliche, but the system exists like that. Whereas here we have to decisively say that we're going to
Zero
do
down
this.
on one thing.
Yeah, I have to do economic honors. I have to pursue BCom honors. There's not an option to explore what we like to study, and what we'd like to learn. So the first challenge, I think, for each and every student is to, really know what we want to do. And the second is the age-old battle of college versus course. Because I was talking to a few people when I was closing down on my college, and some of them said that, you're going to learn for the entire of your life. So why not choose a college that offers you more opportunities outside the classroom? Whereas some said that no, the entire purpose of going into a college is learning. And it's actually, deciding that this is the field of study I would like to go ahead with. So choose a college that has a good department. So if I want to do economics, that has a good economics department and has better faculty per se. So what according to you should be some parameters that each student should ideally, I would say, again, it's a very subjective thing, but ideally they should keep in mind while choosing a college. And I say that because even with certain marks, they need not be so up on a scale of 100, but even with certain marks, we have to choose. So
Yeah.
I had to choose between BCom honors and economics honors. So a humanities student had to choose between, say, Pol Science honors and psychology honors. And practically speaking, we're all clueless. We've not read research papers in school
Yeah.
that, and still I come from we all come from a fairly privileged school. People coming from different parts of the country, I cannot warrant and wager that what kind of resources they're exposed to. So how was choosing a college for you, and how did you think that do you think that you made a good choice, or what would you have changed while choosing a college, and what are some of the parameters that each student should kind of keep at the back of the head while choosing that, hey, this is the college that I want to go? Any order, no need not go in alphabetical order.
So, since you said like LSR and Hindu, and you mentioned psychology and Pol Science, that was actually something that was applicable to me. So when I gave my boards, that is the actual time you have after your boards and before your results come, when you have some time to explore the choices, because college life doesn't, because school life doesn't usually allow you to have that much time, especially in 12th with all the coachings and stuff going around you. So yeah, that was the time, and that was the time when I was confused between psychology and political science. Both were subjects that I liked. So the thing was, so why I zeroed down on political science was, first, see, just like Shrishti, you said, in our country we don't have many choices. Choices in the sense that we have to zero down on one thing. We can't give ourselves that time where we can relax and think. So I had to zero down on something, and that is why I had started. I had some sort of idea what I do with my want. So you should have, first of all, some sort of broad idea what you want to do with your life, because it's good if you have that, because that makes a lot of things clear. I'm not saying that you should have that clear cut idea. No, I want to become, for example, lawyer. That's, I am not saying that. You just have to be sure of, do you want to make a career where political science would help you, or do you want to make a career where psychology would help you? That is one thing. So you should have. So when I sat down, I realized that I was good at, I had some sort of interest in mass communication. I had some sort of interest in Indian administrative service. So I zeroed down in both these situations. Political science would be something that would help me better than psychology. Now again, the thing is, if you have this clear cut idea that no, I like psychology over political science, and I can't study political science for 3 years, whereas I can study psychology for my entire life, then it's a clear choice for you that you should go with the subject. However, if you don't have that clear, for me, psychology and political science stood on the same pedestal. So for me, then again, what I wanted to do with my life became the priority decision making area, which is why I settled down on political science. Now the next thing was college. So St. Stephen's was definitely something I wanted to go to, but St. Stephen's didn't have political science. It had, from my areas of humanities, it had I think history and English. History I didn't have in school. I don't have interest in history. English was something I liked studying at school, but that was not something I wanted to study as a graduate subject. So there were people who told me कि अरे St. Stephen's मिल रहा है, English पढ़ लो. So मतलब
Told me that as well. English पढ़ लो.
English पढ़ लो, St. Stephen's मिल रहा है तुम्हें, और क्या चाहिए? Because cutoff was some, I didn't go for उसका interview, because but I had that, I think the cutoff for English was 96 or 95 something, and I had the percentage to get into. But I said, I don't want to go into I don't want to study English. Why
Can
should
I just say that you're sounding ancient, because if the cutoff of St. Stephen is 95 to 96, then you're probably way ancient. You're just old.
Yeah, that is,
I'm sorry, but you're old.
I've seen the cutoff skyrocketing in just 3 years. When I got into Hindu, the cutoff was 96, and now it's 99.5, and that's not even 3 years. And still, the seats are getting. We have, I think, in my college this year also, the seats were overfilled. Like, where are these students coming from? Like, still, so then this LSR and Hindu thing came up. So my criteria of decision making was something that you would laugh on. I felt that LSR takes me 2.5 hours to reach, whereas Hindu takes me half an hour to reach. Wow, I should go for Hindu. Then my father was insistent on the fact that you should go for a co-ed education. He said that, so that's again a myth. That's again a myth. That is what I discovered. But my father was somehow insistent on the fact that you should go for a co-ed education and stuff. So I was like, ठीक है. And when I talked to some of my seniors, and they said that LSR is also a good place. There's nothing like, then again, it's a myth that there's nothing like girls' colleges, girls' college sort of a thing. But if you want, you can. Then somehow I got convinced convinced for that co-ed thing, which I again think is a very huge myth. There's no difference between co-ed and girls college, because at the end of the day it's both the same, nothing is wrong. So but and then Hindu was in LSR psychology, like you said, which faculty is good where. So I had so whatever research I did, so that then it came to me that LSR does have a very good psychology department, and in political science Hindu is famous for political science. So finally I came to Hindu, and then initially I had this dilemma that chale to gaye, chhod to the LSR, but now what? But eventually I fell in love with Hindu. I fell in love with it, and I did not regret my decision, because one of the things that at that time, that was the last indicator while deciding, that the distance thing that I talked to you, that LSR took me 2.5 hours to reach, whereas Hindu took me just like 45 minutes to reach, because the metro station which is near to my house took just 18 or 20 minutes to reach to Vishwavidyalaya. That was one thing I thought, that was actually a very good criteria to decide. Because what happens is that LSR and Hindu at that time was same. I talked to a lot of people of LSR also by the after that, and they said that I didn't find that there's much of a difference between LSR and Hindu. And subsequently the ranks, the so-called rankings that came, Miranda was first, Hindu was second, and LSR was somewhere down the list. So then again it changed. But the thing was, what happened with distant thing was, I'll tell you that it helped, it gave me a lot of time in hand because I didn't have to waste time in traveling. So I felt that if even if there was, after some point of time, like even if there was just a society meeting per se in college, if I was in LSR, I would have to think twice before, like I have to travel for 2.5 hours. The meeting might just last for half an hour or 45 minutes, and then I may have to come back again. So, but after I came to Hindu, I realized that just that saving on that time, even if it's 15 minutes, I saved like 1.5 hours. And that time I could spend that in college. I didn't have to think twice. And I could do a lot of more, creative and much productive things out there.
Right. Essentially, what I could get from you is, so take care of like your interest, number one, then take care of the distance, take care of the faculty.
Which faculty is good where,
and then again
talk to your seniors. If you can have access of them, talk to your seniors, because they can give you the inside view and not the internet.
Right. And then again the co-ed factor being there, that's, and I think Ishika,
I don't think you should now. I think at the end of 3 years that you should not consider the co-ed factor. Then that shouldn't be your, until unless, I think some people deliberately took, some people do have that thing in mind, and I don't think it's wrong to have that.
Yeah, I think Ishika and Manya, because they both from actually girls' college, so they can actually elaborate on that. And yes, so Ishika, go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like, so I took opinions from quite a few people about being in a girls' college.
And before that, okay, so I think I just need to add maybe a little perspective here, that generalize your advice and your experience so that people who are going into different colleges can relate to it. So I would just like to say that,
So I'll first answer the question about course versus college and how to choose your college and course. I think Urvashi has covered most of it. Just to add, I think one of the most important things, she also mentioned that you should visit the college. I think that adds a lot of value. And secondly, talk to people from that college, talk to people outside your circle who've been to those colleges. So recently during the admission season, I got so many messages from so many people I didn't know about the choices that they had in mind. And, one of the choices that they were considering was economics in Miranda. And I was so happy that, they were seeking advice that would actually help them, because I have experienced it firsthand. And I don't think any perspective is better than the perspective of a student who's studying there. And look for multiple perspectives. Don't just go by one perspective, because my experience is going to be very different from someone else's. So I think that is very important. If you have any particular interest, so for example, I think, so for me, the choice is born within you. For me, the choice was IIM Bangalore's management program and this economics honors. So for me, I personally, because I like the course economics so much, I chose this particular option. So if you have a clear-cut interest in mind, then go for the interest, go for the course, don't go for the college, because that course shapes the opportunities that you're going to have in future. And that also shapes, I feel like if you're happy with the course that you're doing, if you're interested with that, it just makes your college life way less stressful and way more enjoyable, because you're enjoying the time in class, you're enjoying what you're studying. And by the extension of that, I feel like your future opportunities are also opportunities. The opportunities that are open to you are also opportunities that you'll enjoy, probably. I mean, interests change. So if you don't have a clear-cut interest in mind, again, Urvashi mentioned a couple of factors, look for them. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the advice I have there. But just addressing the question of a co-ed college versus a girls' college, I approached a couple of people. I asked them what they felt about girls' colleges, and I looked at students who were in girls' colleges, and I got a very varied opinion. But I feel like my opinion, and especially this is, I think, for Miranda, because every person that I've talked to in Miranda, this is I've talked to Miranda alumni who are 60 now. And I've talked to Miranda alumni who are 10 years out of college, and I've talked to students in college, and every person has the same opinion that we love the fact that we went to a girls' college, especially to this college. It's a very, very empowering space. It's a very liberating space. Um, Everything else is equal, but you also get the advantage of being in a space wherein now, for example, I can recognize casual sexism way better than I could earlier. Um, at every single point, I'm not reminded of the fact that I'm a girl at any point in time. And I don't think that I was cognizant of that earlier, that I was being reminded of the fact that I'm a woman, but I was being reminded of that. And I'm not being reminded of that in college. And I think that's just very important, very liberating, very empowering. And yeah, if you get into a girls' college, do try getting into one. Yeah.
Right. Manya, how was the dilemma for you?
So I think the best advice has already been given. Please consider the distance and from your place to the college. Please do not live on a metro. Any advice that I give after that is all downhill from here. But I just like, because the two advices that came before me were of people who liked something about their academic curriculum. But let me speak to the people who do not know, who do not care, and who do not like anything. So
Thank you. Needed.
I did not have any specific interest in economics as such that it is my go-to lovely subject. And when I talk to economic students in DU, they are obsessed with it. They think that it is the most brilliant thing that has ever existed on planet, and they speak about it so beautifully. And I don't think that that is something that I totally understand. I respect that, but I do not understand that. And also BCom honors was also not something that I was really, really excited about. And I will not pretend that I had a plan before selecting my college. It is all a blur. That would be a lie. But I can tell about, my experience in retrospection. So after coming to the college, what I found was that because my college is just 35 minutes away from the place where I live. I do not live on a metro. I am able to do so much. And it is not just about doing so much, it is also about doing nothing. I have time to sleep. Like, guys, even if like you are not attending a society meeting, please sleep. Please, like, do not be a capitalistic person who is ruining your mental health and body in order to get some, idea of success.
Yeah.
Please do not do that. And this is, of course, if you are not getting into the best Hindu or SRCC or Stephens. Like, for that you can travel, but if like general, the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee College, the Kalandi, Maitri, so do not live on a metro. Go to a college that is near your house. And also, when you are selecting your course, analyze what you want to do in your life. In my life, I do not think that yet. Like, even now, I do not have a very keen academic interest. So BCom honors is a course that can be done in a week, and I score really good academic wise, and I do not have to give up a lot of time in the entire year. And this is the reason why I was able to do so many things that I did in my college. And also, just one thing that I do not think that North Campus people know, and people in other colleges should be knowing, just talk to the people in your college. So there is a thing about, grading your internals, right? So in a lot of colleges, and again, I'm not talking about the top SRCC Hindu type of colleges. This is about the general public, the rest of us. So talk to
kind of discrimination. Hindu
yeah, this is about the rest of us that go into a college wherein this is if you are, very much sure that you want to do something that is not being taught in your college. Only then, okay, disclaimer. There is a marking system in which the teachers either grade you on the average or the best. Like, they'll take 4 exams, and then either they'll mark the average of that particular exam, or they'll be marking the best of that exam. So why I am able to do so much is also because this I have realized recently, that the reason I was able to do so much was because I had a course that was easy for me, like personally. And then I just studied for the first test, and then I was free for the entire semester to go work on my startup or to go intern anywhere that I wanted. And it was just the best. You score 10 marks in the first test, and then you are like, okay, done and dusted, let's go and do
Chalo.
the things that I want to do in my life. So
Right.
this is a life hack right here, first time on podcast with school kids.
Mhm.
And more so, I think what essentially this point can be covered in is research about your college. Read about the curriculum as well.
Yeah.
Talk to teachers and read about how you graded and stuff, and that helps. I think that will also help North Campus and South Campus people as well. And just
I
to
think
the
talking is one thing that helps you the most. If it's alumni, like Ishika said that she talked to, alumni of different, time and spaces, like 10 who's out of the college 10 years and who's 60 years. So I think talking to the alumni, talking to like one of my teachers also who was from Hindu. So I had a word with her, and she told me that you would not regret even if you choose LSR or if you choose Hindu. So go by what your heart says. So I think talking and researching, not on internet but in realistic way on ground, is a very important thing. And I think in today's time it's not possible with the pandemic around, and I think this year's admissions are mostly done. So but from next year I hope we all will be able to get on ground, and I think ground research is one thing that really helps.
You can
Absolutely.
also shoot people messages on LinkedIn. They reply. It's
I was just about to
even-
say that. Yeah.
Even Facebook and Instagram, even if you don't know the person, usually alumni and people who are into the college are eager to help you because they know that they have been in your shoes once. So they are really happy if I get a message asking me something about something that I was curious about when I was in their position. So I am very happy to help because I think that ये information मुझे नहीं मिली, at least इसको तो मिल जाए. So I
Absolutely.
think that's very important.
Right. Yeah, great points made. And now I think moving on, I'll not lie, but throughout school, because I had a lot of I was in touch with a lot of seniors who were either in college or they were going into college. I looked down on DU, and maybe I still do. Okay, that's like a no. I mean, I'm going into DU, but I won't lie, but I have looked down on DU, and I don't know if I've scored enough that I can look down on DU, but I do. So, again, one important question I would like you all to answer is, and think about everything. I'm not just saying that, think about the culture, think about the academics, think about the entire system of how Delhi University works. Like you said, that take into account that the distance from your place to the college is minimal. But also think about people are coming from Kolkata, people are coming from different parts of the country, and they're coming into college. So think about that as well. Then think about the cutoffs. Like you said, they're skyrocketing. I mean, LSR came out with 100%. Please tell me if that's, I don't know. Okay. So think about privilege, think about reservations, think about inequality, think about the number of students that are in excess of the seats available, and also think about the culture, the academics, the faculty, and just maybe serve me on a platter that what you think of DU and what's really amazing about it. How does it empower you personally? And also tell me where does it lack, and if some stakeholders listen to this conversation, where do they need to work? And as students, how do we, while being the students of Delhi University colleges, how do we reevaluate constantly the kind of system we are in and the kind of narrative we are fed?
Can I take that?
Yeah,
First?
go ahead, Ishika. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so firstly, I do think that just the system of admissions at Delhi University, I think at this point it's a lottery, right? Because if you have 100%, then it's a lottery, right? So it's just that there are too many people.
Right.
So you put an arbitrary measure of success and arbitrary measure of intellectual capabilities, and you tell them that, yeah, well, you perform in this arbitrary exam in which people check according to their moods, and this will decide so much for you. It doesn't. First of all, it doesn't decide a lot for you. It might feel significant right now, but it isn't. But yeah, I feel like the admissions system in general, based on just one singular score, that's messed up. I don't think we can do much to change that. I don't think we have the power to be able to question the admission system itself, and if university can actually do much given the resources of that this university has, at least. But other than that, I feel like just on the point of you saying that a lot of people judge Delhi University, I feel like judgment is a very it's a very negative place to come from. I feel like what you should be looking at, look at it critically, right? There are flaws in the system and there are a lot of merits to the system. Realize that this is a very, very highly subsidized education for you.
Exactly.
And like if you go to the US, their education system is messed up. Like there is right, like in the beginning of the podcast, you said that this seems like a natural progression for all of us, that we're going to go to college. It's not a constant, at least for the privileged few,
Right.
Progression, right? But there for almost every person, it's not a natural progression because the cost is so high. You have to consciously make that decision.
They're in debt. Students are in debt.
Yeah.
Practically.
Beyond in debt, and we do get, and we get most, like arguably we do get jobs after this as well, right? So this is, I think, and given the fees that we have, I think with the facilities and the infrastructure that we get is also decent. Of course, there's always room for critiquing this. There's a lot of bureaucracy here, so you can go ahead and question that. But I feel by and large, I think this is a system which is great. Especially, I think if you live on campus, live nearby campus, or are in one of the campus colleges, the environment around you is amazing. There's just so much intellectual curiosity around you. Every single person, from professors to students, they question things. They like there is a reason that there is a protest going on the arts faculty all the time, because we are the people who are questioning the system, right? And I think that's very important. That's something that DU allows you to do. It has a very, arguably, very liberal environment, and that I think is great. Also, in terms of opportunities, I think it provides a lot of opportunities. And if you feel like those opportunities aren't enough, which is why I feel like people judged you, you can always go ahead and create those opportunities for you and for those around you. Like people like Manya do that, right? And I think instead of being like, I don't like this system, go ahead and do something to change something about the system. I think that's very important. You can always go ahead and critique it, but yeah, that's what I think.
Right, and it's great that Ishika mentioned about opportunities, and creating opportunities. So I would just like to know from both Manya and Urvashi, please include this in your answer to my previous question, is that did you have access to enough opportunities? If not, did you create them? How did you create them? How can a person who's going into college create opportunities for themselves?
So, just like Ishika said, Delhi University is a public university system. We are being offered education at a highly subsidized rate, and it's and the fact is that if you get into DU, you don't have to think a lot in terms of money, that will you be able to afford it or not. So that is why when you come into college, when you in school, you are surrounded by people mostly like you, of your socioeconomic background. But when you come to college, you meet people from different cultures, you meet people from different socioeconomic backgrounds. And I think the best part about Delhi University is that it is a melting pot of various cultures. When you actually get to measure your own self and reflect on your own self, you see that you are studying in a very comfortable environment where your parents were able to afford a very nice coaching for you. You were able to get your hands on the latest guide in the market, and you went into a private school where teachers were so nice. But at the same time, you come to see that there were students who have studied in the worst of the situations, where they come from villages where electricity is a problem, where a lot of things are a problem, and they come and sit right beside you because they have come on their merit. They have come on their merit in spite of all they have did. And I think their achievement is a little more than ours, even though we may be same in our percentage. He or the person sitting right beside me may have scored the same marks as me, but I think hers or his achievement is way more, important than me because they have studied in a situation where they lacked something. And in
Right.
our situation, especially, I'm not, again, not generalizing from the socioeconomic background I come from, life was pretty easy for me. So I think at that time you start respecting the things you have, and you start, and that was the time I felt that what can I do for people who come here. And then you see, I met a lot of students who had great potential, who had a lot great potential. They were brilliant minds, knowing much more than I did, but at the same time they were a little bit hesitant to somehow show it up in the class. They knew the answer to the question that teacher had raised, but they didn't raise their hands and answer. So that was something. So I couldn't have, coerced somebody into doing something, but I started talking to people and telling them. And and when, because usually after the class we used to have this discussion, and the person used to tell me that I thought that answer for that, this, my opinion to that question was this. So I used to say that, okay, speak out in the class. And eventually you see, after some time, one semester, people do start speaking up because they realize that Delhi University is a very welcoming environment. I have never seen any classmate of mine who had, ridiculed an opinion in class. So I think in that, again, that must be, that can be a subjective experience, because then again I found that the Delhi University as an environment was very welcoming, and people had an option to speak up. And so I think that is the highlight of that, highlight of Delhi University as such, because you again, you meet people of a lot of culture. You get to see people of so many cultures, with so many beliefs, with so many ideas, and with so many different value set than yours. And then, and when there are times when you clash, when you debate, when you, and this entire process of clashing, in debating, in having a dialogue, you evolve. And I think that
Right.
evolution is very important, because if you come with a set of rigid values and ideas and beliefs, and then again you're living with the same values, ideas and beliefs, then your stint at college is a waste. Because if you're not able to, accommodate other values, other beliefs, and, mold yourself in a way that is more comprehensive and more, holistic of the things, of the people around you, I think that's one of the greatest evolutionary aspects that I like to highlight. And the other thing, the opportunities thing, I think there are n number of opportunities in DU, n number of opportunities, because there are too many societies, there are too many groups working outside the college. There are various platforms where you can,
Right. Right.
but I think, but not, it's not enough to have those things. You should have that inner thing, that to go. Because again, I don't understand this concept, because, but societies have an audition process where you audition and get into the society, whereas society ideally should be a place where you learn something, but it expects that you have already learned something, you audition, and then you get through. So I'll tell you something, a very funny thing. So I was very much involved in debating back in my school. So I auditioned for debating society, and I got through the first day of debating society, and there was this orientation session. And the first thing we were told was, don't think that you are here for, don't take this for granted, you can be kicked out anytime. And this was the attitude. And I was like, OMG, I thought I'm here to learn something. I thought this would be sort of since it was a welcome address and orientation, I thought I would be something desirable in this session, but I was told that you'll be kicked out if you don't perform well. And I felt this sort of a very competitive thing inside the society, because the entire process of English debating society was so competitive to get in. When you get in, you always have to be on the brink, that ki will I be kicked out? Malab, that thing somehow didn't appeal to me. And within 1 week, I left the debating society, which people are dying to come into. And I was met with people who said, are you a fool? You left English society. I couldn't clear the first round, and you left it in 1 week without, attend even a single debating session, because what they expected me to do was, from from 12 to 4 you were supposed to be in the college, from 12 to 6 to attend these sessions, and if you don't attend these many sessions, you would be kicked out of the society. I didn't like that discipline. I seriously didn't like that discipline, because I felt that I would be somebody here coming to learn. I don't have to be judged. So I came out of that setup and I started
Right.
finding what are the
Right,
other
right, right.
societies that would. So don't be in a pressure to, don't be in a pressure to have an opportunity that other people think are good, because there are several societies. And after that I realized that there are so many societies in college which people have like
Disregarded.
discarded, saying that it's like a dormant society and not, and on their level they're working in a very good manner. They have some really nice people. So I started exploring other societies. So opportunities you have to find. Take some
Right.
time, find those opportunities, what kind of opportunities are good for you, and put your legs in different societies, in different platforms, and then
Right,
find
right.
what suits you, and then whatever takes your heart, just be with that.